already have.
Or not, maybe. We did just go ahead and, kill the leader of the church. I doubt that Weejas is going to hold much more against us. And truthfully, it pales in comparison to what Rahk did.
Talk it over with Thelsa before you make any decisions.
50%.
And he kind of continues to walk on.
Yeah, I'm assuming at this point they've probably made it to the bathhouse and have gotten inside.
Yeah, likely, yes. You guys have probably been standing there for a few minutes now.
Yeah. Well, stepping inside, he'll see about setting Alakast on the table and going about maybe making a little bit of gruel from one of their field rations or, banking up a fire.
Okay.
Something to take off the edge of the gnaw before he has a chance to sit down and actually start reading over these runes.
Sure. You go to the reserves that you have, and admittedly, there's not enough. You guys haven't really done much in the way of stocking this place, at least in regards to food for a while, but then again, it was at one point a bathhouse. It wasn't designed to be a cafeteria hall. It still is technically a bathhouse. It's not been changed to fit the guildhouse meter that you so desire.
I'm not even sure at this point we could call it a bathhouse. It's basically a freestanding structure with most of a roof.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
but
it's got good bones.
You gather the gruel, whatever happens to be there, be it whey or maybe some sort of oat that was left behind, but you make just enough to sort of shake off the pangs of hunger.
Yeah, I figure he's probably going to just use a little water and boil some of the hardtack that's in one of their rations.
Likely, yes. And as you begin to bite into your food, do you sit there and just sort of surreptitiously believe about the acts that you've committed to? Do you ponder about your father? What do you do here?
Well, as he's sulling on the bowl, he's going to start reading over the staff. He's pointedly making sure that he isn't spending too much time thinking about what's been going on with his father.
Sure. Well, interestingly enough, as you start going over the staff itself, the staff portion of the scythe, you begin peering over the text, and you are certain that it was infernal. Maybe it's abyssal. Why is that flourish there that's only found in text that is celestial? That's not right. The text itself doesn't continue to shift and change, but it seems to be an entirely different bit of text, borderline hieroglyphics that you can't quite understand.
So it's kind of a mixture of various different languages at this point.
Yes.
Is there a particular list of languages that it falls under, or because you've mentioned Abyssal and Infernal, both of which he happens to know, as well as Draconic, Elven, Dwarven, and Orc. Little do people realize Jakob is big brain.
This is what you can do. Do you have read? You can comprehend languages, yes?
Well, I mean, he's skilled at languages, but I don't believe that he has the spell comprehend languages. No, he has the ability to read magic and so forth, but as far as the whole comprehend language and so forth, that's more Ulhime.
You can call to him.
The reason I ask is how much of this is he able to decipher, like on his own, and he'll probably be asking specifically for Ulhime to come assist in a moment.
Yeah, nothing. You can't. You can give me a linguistics check. Let's see what you can decipher with that.
Sure.
Yeah, right, Phantasmal. Yeah, you were only certain up to this point that the words contain bits of design that looks like a mishmash of multiple languages. Like someone decided halfway through that they were going to change the overall format of the text. It weaves a lot, but it doesn't ever really stay. And each of the things that you think is familiar, the more and more you look at it, the more you're like, yeah, I have no fucking clue. I have no idea what that is. I thought it was this, but, well, this whips up here at the corner, and this actually has 2 extra dots, and I don't get it.
Ulhime, have you got a moment?
You see him using the broom, kind of just like sweeping, like a sword strike kind of sweep. He just kind of stops. What's going on, lad? What do you need?
I think I might need a spell.
I don't make scrolls, and I'm not a wizard, Jacob.
Well, yes, but you do call on the divine to go ahead and create acts in reality. My ilk call those spells. But no, you're good with languages, right?
With the proper spells, yes. What's going on?
Oh, I don't know spells.
Do you want help? And he just turns around, he just goes back to sweeping and get like, I guess you want to wait till tomorrow then, don't you?
Oh, don't be an ass. But
spit it out, lad. What do you want?
No. I'd like some help seeing about deciphering these writings. They changed during our time with the Wraith. As I went ahead and poured magic through it, I think it might have been a catalyst. But no, the writings did in fact change, and I could have sworn they were all infernal earlier. But the more I look at it, the more it seems to have changed. And it's... Can you come give me a hand or not?
Then I would be out of them. And he just like slaps the fucking table.
Are you sure you don't have a bastard somewhere?
I honestly don't know. I like to think not. I'm pretty responsible. But move over, lad. Scoot. And he kind of slaps his face like this, like scoot over, and he extends his hand out for the scythe.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of table, but okay. And he'll slide his chair all the way down one side and just hand off the scythe while he rests his chin on a claw and sips at his bowl.
Sure.
Waiting to see what Ulhime thinks about it.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense. Ulhime, you start to pick up immediately similar things, and until you start casting some spells, you're going to be a little lackluster here.
Yeah. He's first going to use Read Magic.
Okay.
And then he's going to activate Comprehend Languages on himself. Oh.
Okay.
So as he does that, you hear Ulhime give his muttering, and then the first spell goes off for Read Magic. So you kind of see his eyes flicker this like bluish color. And then as he does Comprehend Languages, you see another flash of blue. And the eyes kind of have this like bluish white hue to them. And then he begins reading out loud. So that way Jacob hears what's being transcribed.
Sure. I need a linguistics from you. Though you can read magic and you can comprehend languages, this is an entirely different language than you've ever seen before. And you can see that it has been woven betwixt multiple languages, and that is not enough. Even with read and comprehend on, it's not enough. You can try again if you'd like. You've got 3 rerolls. I'm looking for a number. I have a static number in head. That's significantly worse. While a little better, it's the same scenario time and time again. You think you start deciphering it as you begin to weave in between it, and it sort of follows this freeform line. It's not a straight line. It spins spiral down the staff, sort of like a DNA sequence. But as you begin to spin and follow it, You notice it too. And Jacob, you can see this similarly over his face. His brows flinch, furrows, and then he's glowering. He can't make heads or tails of it. It's in multiple bits of text. It's
confusing, right?
A new language.
So even with the spell comprehend languages, I can't even see its literal meaning?
Go ahead and cast comprehend language. Let me see what it actually says. You can understand the spoken words of creatures or read otherwise incomprehensible written messages. The ability to read does not necessarily impart insight into the material, merely its literal meaning. The spell enables you to understand or read an unknown... Oh, okay, so... Then we're gonna run immediately off of our basis sentence here. You can read otherwise incomprehensible written messages. So let me drum this up here. So the message that you begin getting from this, while it seems to be wildly unclear, and you might be able to infer based off of a few things. It says, when duality is discovered, a neutral tether unbinds.
When duality tethers... when duality tethers, neutrality unbinds? Is that what you said?
No. When duality is discovered, a neutral tether unbinds.
Okay. And I'll say that out loud to Jacob. That's what the message says.
Duality. Neutral tether.
Prophet is right. You should write that down.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm trying to do that right now. Give me just a sec.
Well, it's a question of what it means by duality. I mean, duality can mean quite a lot.
And one more time, just to make sure I have it right. It's when duality is discovered, neutrality unbinds, correct? That's what you said?
When duality is discovered, a neutral tether unbinds.
Oh, already I got it.
Are we good?
Yeah. Kind of looking at it, I look up some. Given what it's saying, it could mean a number of things. The two energy types, when they come together, it takes a third power that's not tied to either one of these to unbind either the seal or the power of this staff. At least that's what it sounds like.
Well, I would imagine then, since it's a celestial creature, that it probably has to do with the whole celestial good and evil. And he'll kind of look at the staff and rest a hand on it. I don't suppose that's what you're trying to tell us, Alicast. You're currently bound.
If anything, I mean, it could be something similar to the wielders of it. The first wielder being, at least the one that we knew of, was Klaus. I believe elemental energy, for the most part, would be a neutral power. You're the second wielder of it. Infernal, or I guess hell energy or negative energy would be you.
Well, I'd imagine that it meant that it would be unbound. You know, it would. Well,
What are you thinking, Sniper? Mutter these thoughts out. I want to hear what you got.
unless it's trying to say that it has two polars, two natures, but to be unbound requires a neutral. Magical essence is a neutral, neutral natural byproduct. It's not necessarily driven by any celestial nature at all. It's not like it has anything to do with God's good or bad. And the change did occur while I was moving a spell through it.
Why not try that again?
Hmm.
Try to channel a stronger spell into it, see if something happens.
Oh, I'll do one better. And, kind of just standing the staff up beside him, he's going to close his eyes a moment and burn a few arcane points to buff the staff. So that would effectively move it from I believe it's currently a +2 weapon. He's basically going to make it a +5 weapon.
Sure. You begin channeling points into this weapon. Your magic starts to run from your body. Your natural magus nature as you begin to pour this arcane essence and again.
Yeah, that arcane well that's inside. I'm basically pumping it into the scythe and
you see it begin to illuminate these hieroglyphs across the staff itself. And it seems to almost absorb it, but simultaneously, nothing happens. Nothing as far as you can tell. I just need perception checks just to see if you guys possibly miss this, which I don't think is the case, but I want to see if you miss it.
Would we call this perception, or would it be more like...
This is perception.
Oh, okay.
Prescription checks, yo.
No, I'm going to re-roll that because I can do better than a 2.
I think you can do better than a 2.
Watch me roll a 1, guys. Watch me roll a 1.
That's good. See, it wasn't hard.
Yeah.
It wasn't hard. But that's good. You both roll, and you have to double take it first, Jacob, but then you notice that as you're double taking and you look over to Ulhime, his eyes affixed to this as well. The blade itself, while it is now designed sort of like a butcher's knife, the blade no longer emits a glare from the flame. There is no longer a shine and shimmer of natural steel. In fact, there is nothing. It's pitch. Nothing remains visibly except for a shadow.
Like the blade became a shadow?
The blade itself seems to be there. It has a shape. It still maintains the shape that it was visibly when it was metal. But all that is really there is this pitch.
So it's kind of like it's been turned from steel to
a magical, like
glass.
Okay. Well, he's still channeling energy into it.
I want something. I want to see if you guys get this. Give me, if either of you have it, knowledge planes.
Sure. Again, I think I can do better than a 7.
Okay.
Yeah, so second reroll of the night.
Oh my god. I was hoping you didn't roll it. But you gone up and rolled it. Well done. Well done.
Hey man, I need those rerolls. I want chat to feel like those rerolls get used, and god damn it, I used them.
Well, of the few things that you can recall, which admittedly most of your memories were input by your father, this is a memory that is unbeknownst to you. Maybe this slipped in. Maybe this was your father's accident. This may have just been some extra work along the side, or it could have just been useful to you and he felt like it may have helped you in your success and your rise to power. But you do actually know of someone that can use and understand this a bit more. They're not from this plane. They're not from this plane. From another plane. They're called Dusk Dwellers. People that move about darkness and light intertwined. They're actually from the Shadow Plane. Not kidding. Yu-Gi-Oh! Bullshit aside. There is a
Oh
group.
no, the Shadow Plane is a very real thing.
Yes.
He's aware.
And this looks like a bent element of the Shadow Plane. You don't know why you know that or how you know it, but you know it.
What's wrong? I mean, you're doing that, right?
Yes and no. And kind of tipping his head aside and resting it on a claw, he tips the scythe back and forth. I was rather hoping that this was awakening whatever is inside, but I got a feeling that it's actually possibly working more on the bindings themselves. And at that point, he'll kind of tip the staff over, setting the head on the desk and turning the blade more to the light for Ulhime. That's a planar material. That's from the Shadow Plane.
Meaning what then? So what does it mean for the blade?
Well, it means first and foremost that it's definitely not been forged in the material plane. Properties of the Shadow Realm are nebulous at best. Some materials can be utilized in alchemical processes and has particular properties like ignoring the physical. But that aside, no, it means that if nothing else, it's a hint that if we want more information about whatever this is, we need to go ahead and speak with somebody from the plane of shadow. Don't suppose you happen to have anybody on your short list?
I mean, we can go to the tome again, but as far as I know, I don't think any of you guys are really in a position to bargain, and I've already kind of done my bargaining for this lifetime.
Maybe I'll join you in Occipitus. There was a rather impressive library I never had a chance to look through.
True. I am worried about you going there, though, after I try changing it, if I can even change it. If I am right, I don't know how celestial energy will affect your infernal body. You might feel the same thing I did, where everything felt heavier, slower. You might feel exhausted.
Well, luckily I'm not doing anything physically taxing. I'm planning to read.
Very well. Well, I plan on taking Cort with us there as well. I don't know if I've told you that already. I want to see if I can use the plane's energy to help heal him.
No, you mentioned earlier, and that's perfectly reasonable. But given that this is originally from Celestia, at least if I remember the histories of Alakast, potentially there will be some writings in the church. We'll find out.
True enough. We're gonna have to take Rahk with us just in case. I don't want to say I don't anticipate trouble, but it's us, so.
Well, then we'd better see if Thelsa has anything better to do at the time as well. I mean, if nothing else, she's an avid reader as well, and might have some ins.
True.
You know, about now, annoying as it is, this is usually when a particular redhead would show up and give me hints and mock me for not understanding them. And he'll just kind of surreptitiously look around.
Ulhime does the same. Like he's like, oh, that actually is a good point. He kind of just starts looking around. He's all,
maybe somewhere.
No, I think we're good for now. Before we go, though, I will be giving the people at Jenya's apothecary our hero's feast, as well as curing as many as I can before we take off. It's not a lot.
Before we take off to Occipitus, I think we definitely have to at least get everyone together, discuss. You know, as easy as it is to go ahead and make these plans for everybody, we should at least go ahead and hear if they have anything more pressing. You know, if Thelsa is not of a particular mind to join us, for instance, leaving her with some funds, and
she already has her money.
Well, I don't think about that. I'm thinking about, you know, giving her funds to see about ferrying goods from Sasserine, or maybe taking a trip over to Red Gorge and seeing if they're sending any assistance, or if not, going ahead and purchasing it. I don't know if she's ever been to the Citadel before.
Jacob, we can be there for a couple of days, maybe weeks, and it's only going to be about a couple of minutes tops from this time, remember?
No, I recall the time dilation. The real question is, with you tweaking things, whether or not it's going to stay the same. After all, moving it from a plane of evil to maybe a plane of good, time may run faster.
Well, I don't
never knows.
Us being in there when that happens. If I can even control it in that sense, it's going to be dispatched for the most part. I'm going to send some energy off to Jimothy to give him more power. The rest of it's going to just go to the domain itself.
Well, I don't necessarily think you could change the fabrics of a domain remotely, but I'm working on working on different principles.
I'm also working on literally faith of hoping this does work. And this is the first time saying it out loud that it sounds like bullshit to me, but
well, you've been ordained by a god to be his replacement. When it comes down to things that sound like bullshit, that kind of takes the cake. At least as far as Occipitus is concerned, I've been there. I've seen it. I've touched it. I've experienced it. That I know is real. And it's just another plane. It falls within what I understand, what I've researched. We haven't had a chance to go over that yet.
Go over what?
At this point, he's going to lean back and reach into his pouch and pull out the wooden block, just kind of turning it in his fingers a moment. There's been a few changes in my perceptions. And he'll kind of set the block down firmly with a finger on top of it.
Were you trying to adopt, or?
No, I've learned a bit more about my parentage, and particularly my upbringing.
And he kind of just looks at him and sits back down in the chair again. Go ahead. I mean, outside of knowing that you're Nabdatorn's son, I guess we really haven't talked about that. So, what'd you find out?
Well,
Were you like a noble
you
or something?
recall technically being the son of Nabdatoran, one would say
Yeah.
I'm a form of royalty, but no. You remember when we first met, how I talked about our lives before that? I told you about my time in other cities, my upbringing.
Yeah.
It's suddenly become clear none of that has happened. It's
So what, you're living like a double life that you didn't want me to know about? What are you talking about?
no, I had no life at all.
Jacob, just because you go through the world with obscurities doesn't mean that you yourself didn't come from nothing. You know, it's...
Oh, no, I'm not saying that I came from nothing. No, I was born, I was raised. I was actually raised here in this city.
Wait, what? What do you mean you were raised in the city? You haven't come to Cauldron up until pretty recently.
And I'm saying that my birth, as I understand it, or as my mind can understand it, was not that much, not so long before we met. And he'll kind of toss the block over to Ulhime before twisting in his seat and settling back, twisting the scythe in his fingers. When I went to the Gilded Tome, or the Shining Tome, and I was working with Lady Sasha, while she was looking at my thoughts in regards to what was going on in the Church of Ouijanas, she noticed a wall, a block. Something artificial. And as a favor, she decided to knock that down. Ulhime, have you ever thought back on your past and thought it felt like a book you'd read a long time ago?
I mean, some aspects of it. When I first started out, I would say yeah, but
I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about it. I'm actually thinking about the past. Growing up, the people I've met, my lovers, my enemies. And they're so vivid and real in my mind. And yet, overlaid over that is the realization that those weren't real. My father created these memories, forged them out, forged my personality. I recall the night we met. True recollection is to the night we met, where I came out of the woods and met you. I was led there. Nabdatoran himself put me there and set me in front of your path.
For what reason?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Could be the The
But
whole
one
that he
thing-
told me, where he wants you to reach the apex. He wants you to reach your apex, whatever that meant.
Would it surprise you to know that from the way he said it, you were waiting there for me? What do you recall about your past? What brought you to Cauldron?
Well, started off in Protector's Hall in the Osirian Desert. From there, I mean, I lived most of my life part of an adventurers guild. Family wasn't noble, but we weren't impoverished. We weren't impoverished. Yeah. A middle class family. I worked in the mines. From there, joined the Adventurers Guild, and soon after, I started following the Way of Helm. I used the Adventurers Guild as a mean to help people. Didn't really like the way it was going because 9 times out of 10, I was just helping treasure hunters and more or less bandits and mercenaries to fight other people. Didn't really like the lifestyle. Took a ship across the ocean. Came here.
So you came into this content through Sasserine?
Not directly through Sasserine, no. It was a little further up. I had to do some walking. I actually foolishly made a mistake and took the wrong boat.
So you were set on this path by Helm?
He kind of just shrugs.
Nobody directed you to go ahead and go directly towards Cauldron or anything like that?
No, but at the same time, I was told that Red Gorge and Cauldron were 2 good spots for either metalworking if adventuring didn't work out, or Cauldron itself, given that it had a pretty good population in terms of work to be done. I heard some rumors about the stuff that lied beneath it, and they might need guards and whatnot to oversee those operations. So it was a better way to make money, knowing that there was also churches as well. So it kind of just was one of those things that just happened to work out. The night you met me was the night that there was a pretty bad storm that had just come in, and I didn't want to risk there being a secondary storm to hit me on the way while I was traveling. So I stopped that night, and well, that's where I met you.
No, and going by one set of memories, it's a very similar situation on my end. I recall just coming across your path and seeing the fire and going from there. And now I know different. Now I know that I was set directly in your path for a reason. And I have reason to believe that your path was set as well. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that you were being controlled. But I think it might be worth possibly speaking with Sasha and seeing if you have a similar block.
I mean, even if I did, I don't regret meeting you, if that's what you're trying to allude into.
No. I'm a wonderful soul. Of course, who could ever regret meeting me? And the feeling is mutual. There's no regret of having crossed paths with you. If anything, you've been incredibly good and decent and provided a good example as to how to conduct myself. But all the same, it's hard to wrap one's mind around the idea that I'm a child. I haven't been in this world long. the boy, Chandler, he's older than me.
Oh my.
I have
Chops
a
is
world-
older than you. You see, well, I'm like starting to chuckle.
Can we?
I mean, it makes sense now. Short-tempered. You always complain when you don't get what you want. I mean, you're always asking for money. Who does that? Kids. And he's like slaps the table. Oh my! This answers so many questions. Oh, yes. You shouldn't be talking to me right now, young man. It's way past your bedtime.
I'll cut off the other arm. I have this new plane, I have this new edge from the shadow plane. I'd love to find out just what it can do.
It's gone for the record. It's completely shifted back to a normal looking semi-broken blade.
Fuck!
Look at that. And see, look at, you had to have an adult help you read out the text of what you were looking at. See, you got it. Oh, I think Nab sent you down my path because you needed a teacher. That's what it was. So we're going to go over the alphabet today. So come on, Jacob.
And the camera pans for a moment. I'll be right back.
Jacob does not need an adult. Jacob needs one less adult. Jacob needs a coroner. We're going to embalm this bitch.
Oh, poor Jacob. I'm like, look, when I was your age.
When you were my age, you were still technically sucking on some hairy woman's tit. You were working through the braids.
Dude, when I was your age, you were still like 150 years away from being like born. More like 180. Yeah.
When you were my age, I was probably still not even a concept.
True. Bear back when you start.
Okay. Really glad that I got to experience that. That was...
I had to go ahead and say this to the guy who is born, who's born to dad joke.
Yeah, well, I mean, you kind of deserved it. Right? Like, what is there a lie? Are we wrong?
I deserve none of this. I'm a good person. I just play
is
somebody who
debatable.
kills children by accident.
Well, like
he is incapable of not killing children. Okay.
Look. The best thing about that is that now you're in your own age bracket. It's no longer child homicide. It's just homicide.
I mean, it's still child homicide. It's not like he's not killing kids.
I mean, that's true.
Technically, they're older than me, so I can't be tried as an adult.
Sure, whatever helps you sleep at night. You explained that to Kiana after you explained to her that she slept with a 1-year-old.
Somebody fucking call SVU already, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a few detectives that could get in on this. My man's fucking Ice-T, right? Is he in that? He's in that, right?
He is in that.
And Law and Order SVU.
Yeah. Call up my dude Elliot Stabler. He'd come out here and wreck some shit.
Did you see they ordered a 13-episode series of like standalone Stabler stuff?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, they just announced it.
No, that's some April Fool's shit. No fucking way.
Today is April Fool's. This was a couple days ago.
Holy fuck! Wow. Yeah, link me. I need links. That's amazing. Because I loved. Oh, he's the fucking wild card that I always needed in my life. It's like, your rules? Fuck your rules. I'm Elliot Stabler, and that's just what he does. God damn it, I love Elliot.
Elliot's had a history of beating the shit out of fucking anybody because of small misdemeanors. Guy littered, beat the shit out of him, put him in the hospital for 6 years.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just an episode of him roughing up perps. Yes, Chris Maloney. It's too good.
That would be like, that's like literally like every episode that like he has to go solo. He literally just fucks people up.
Well, technically, isn't that just, that series Happy?
No. I'm guessing you haven't seen Happy.
No.
Yeah, it's
read the comic.
It's a fucking wild ride. Okay, it's a wild ride all the way through.
Season 1. I still haven't got around to season 2.
Neither have I. I've not seen it yet, but Lord, it's a lot. It's gonna see him heading up NYPD's organized crime unit. Right on. There's gonna be a lot of violence. If he's the leader, oof, yeah.
That there will.
He's gonna have 2 holsters that are gonna be empty, and they're like, what? You don't have guns on you? He's all like, I have these guns, and just like starts beating the shit out of people.
Oh, that's good shit. I love it. Perfect. So, the camera pulls back, allowing the two of you to eventually reach a point of rest. Eventually.
So it pulls back, leaving the roast of Jacob behind.
Yes. We'll get back after these series of commercials. That
really, we don't need to come back to that.
Jacob's trying to sleep, and he's like, and then guess what? You're still too young, and that's just it just pans out once again.
3 hours later,
and Ulhime's like, do you need a nightlight? Do you need a drink of water?
I'm waiting on Ulhime to be like, listen, when the adults are engaged in conversation, you have something to say, touch my arm to let me know you need to talk to me. Don't just interrupt.
I might only have one arm, but I can still tuck you in if you need it.
Well, the best thing is that Ulhime doesn't need sleep, so he can just sit there and rattle off jokes to you all night at your bedside.
He's all, look, I actually had this scroll made when I was in the spirit world. It's pretty long. It just goes down into the fucking pit, just keeps going.
Oh, man.
And there's Jacob just staring at the ceiling. I want to kill him. He's just going to come back. But it means that there's going to be a couple days without constant jokes.
When I made this hook, right? This decision to make you the baby demon. I didn't know that they were just going to keep roasting you all the way through.
He's just sitting there, do I kill Ulhime?
You say that, but deep down you really, really enjoy it.
Oh no, I totally do. It's great, but I'm not.
You were just setting those pens up. Don't lie to us.
I didn't know. I had no idea. Like
I can picture a point where Jacob gets to a point where he tries to like choke Ulhime, and I'm like, get your baby hands off me.
Oh my god! It's gonna get real schoolyard real soon.
Oh my god!
It devolves into chants of just baby hands.
No, I can see it one day. He's just gonna kind of say one joke too many, and Jacob's just going to snip right through his neck. His head's going to drop off.
Finally, when that's
going to be at least, we're not going to see him for 2 or 3 days, but it's going to be 2 or 3 days of blissful silence. He's gonna come to terms with the fact that Ulhime's a lich, and well,
he's just gonna be like,
technically killing him isn't a bad thing. It's like a snooze button.
The first thing I would do is I would reform the lips just so Pariah can go, wah, look at me, Jacob, I'm crying, wah.
Even his shield is giving me shit.
Technically, like, I don't think you can do anything to him because we don't do this to the handicapped. All right, he's a one-armed man. And you don't do that. All right.
Bro, that's not right. Okay,
you're up on him by at least 3 at this point. So, like, be easy. Okay, you're young. He's old.
Just because he gave away his arm doesn't mean that he's handicapped.
Four baby hands is like 2 regular, so it's like he's still kind of
see, exactly. You hurt kids, not disabled people. All right.
Oh, see, that's why he's always so hard. That's why he's always so hard on himself.
Wait. If I can go ahead and kill a kid, why can't I beat the shit out of a cripple?
Listen, I'm gonna need someone to clip that because that's a fucking highlight of the year right there.
Exhibit C, Your Honor.
Yeah. This is why Sniper was never heard from again.
This is why the FBI knocked.
Oh my god. That's too good. Okay. Perfect. The next day, your intentions are to seek out Rahk.
Correct.
The two of you rise at the earliest point, whenever you feel like Jacob has had enough sleep, which you know at this point for a child could be between 3 hours and 27 hours. And you make sure that you definitely hit his water skin with a little bit of whiskey, so he can be extra lucid when he comes up. But you do exactly as you intend. Wait for him to get enough sleep. You guys will wake up the next day, and along your way, I need perceptions from the both of you. Ulhime still critically fails and gets 24. Gotta love that. Well done. All right.
I was gonna ask, because of comprehend languages, did I lose those rerolls still? Because I was technically after the fact.
It's not really gonna matter a whole lot longer, but reroll it like you've already succeeded. If you want to succeed even harder, then that's cool. I mean, if you can nat 20 and hear like an ant fart across the town. Well done. You still managed to one-up Jacob. How about that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just older than he is, I have better... I know these things,
Yeah.
Got more wisdom.
Well done. Oh, perfect. You both hear it. There is some confused talking. There's a gasp. And then you hear a woman yell out something about a large snake.
I would fucking pick up my shield and start running towards that direction.
As you're moving in the destination of the Wee Apothecary, it is still on the south side of town. And you guys are coming from a similar location, but these cries are coming from the eastern side of town.
Correct.
It's faint at first, but you notice some people are hurriedly moving their things off and away. When the two of you arrive, there is but a single individual. A half-orc. Half-orc stands with a bow over his shoulder, the thread itself across his chest. He's dressed in some garb that is mostly leathers. There appear to be some bone that seems to be jutting out of it, but it's mostly leathers. And he seems to be scanning the area. People are
So he's
nowhere to be
wearing
seen.
the snake.
No, he is not.
Okay.
I would approach him.
Okay. As you approach the figure, his eyes train onto you. Looks you up and down for a moment.
Have I seen you before?
Have we seen a half-orc like this before?
The only half orc I know offhand is Rahk.
This is
There was the Blue Duke for a while, but he's dead.
a different half-orc. Half-orc from out in the woods.
I would kind of look back over to Jacob and shrug and just be like, I don't believe we've met.
Wait, would this happen to be
Bugbear?
Forgive me, yes.
From the
that's what I meant.
Citadel?
A bugbear.
Oh, then yes, we have seen him. I'm like,
Yes.
oh yeah. Then yeah. I would be like, you're the leader of the Wardens, correct?
Yes.
Well,
Fuck, why would you guys do this to me? You know I have... Oh, okay. Pulling up the notes.
I'm looking for a man. What was his name? Jacob. No. The aid of the Citadel has been called. We're here
he-
to help.
Well, Ulhime will re-shoulder his shield and then kind of like push Jacob forward and be like, "This is the one that you seek."
Yeah, somebody go ahead and remind me what his name is because they actually talk. Balthar, thank you.
I
Thank
don't
you.
know this man. Is this even a man?
He was under a different guise when you met, but this is the one that you've met.
Settling the butt of the scythe down and kind of wrapping his arms over the top. He'll roll his eyes. Yes, I was considerably prettier the last we met, Balthar.
Your hair was flowing. Your skin blue.
Well, I was wearing a mask at the time to obscure, and he'll kind of like use a claw to gesture at everything going on. Most people tend not to work well with this particular form. But as that's no longer an option, this is what you get.
Well, I'm here. I am the only one coming from the Citadel.
Well, considering that we only have 7 or 8 bodies for guards at the moment, even one is a great improvement. And he'll offer a hand.
Listen, I will not be staying to be a guard. I do not belong in this stone haven. I belong to the trees. But I'd heard your tale, and I knew that you are struggling. I'll be staying close by. A place to watch the Outer Rim. It is a favor. To friends older. I do not owe this town anything, but to those, I owe much still.
You were spoke highly of and well.
Take this.
Thank you.
And he seems to raise his left arm up just over, and there's a bauble that hangs from the top of this bow. And he seems to rub this bauble, and as it begins to spin, it starts to turn colors. It goes from this yellow color to a visible green. And the longer he touches it, think of it like a mood ring. But the more that he touches it...
Yeah, I was just about to say, oh, he's going to give us a mood ring. How romantic.
He starts to grab onto this and starts to shift colors in his hands. Something appears before you. An incredibly large something. The largest snake you have ever seen in your life.
Wait, I can actually see it?
Made entirely of metal. And there is something wrong just behind its head.
It had babies! Wait.
He speaks in a tongue that both of you are unfamiliar with. He says, and the snake seems to open its maw, and it vomits what looks to be some sort of large gathering, about the size of a bison. And then he touches this thing back again, and the snake starts to disappear.
Okay, first and foremost, I do want to just kind of break away and say I am super impressed that he managed to tame this. And oh my god, he is now the most dangerous motherfucker in this entire game.
You're welcome. I'm just kidding. Don't thank me. It's a story. But you said it was a bison? Like, it looks like a big ass...
About the size of a bison, but it's not. This looks to be hand wrapped. It's wrapped in what looks to be like loose knots, hemp rope, but it's mostly leaves.
I guess we would unwrap it to see what he had brought us then?
Sure. And as you begin to unwrap it, you find that there is actually raw seed.
Oh shit. Fucking nice. Seeing that, immediately I would stand up. I would probably look to the nearest... Probably like the nearest townsperson. Someone not too young, not too old. And I'd call him over. You, come here. Just like some like random person.
Sort of makes his way over. He's very apprehensive. I mean, imagine this picture, if you will. A bugbear that has like nearly a quarter-mile long steel snake in tow that just vomited up a bison-sized bit of seed that seems to be hanging out with a tiefling glabrezu and a one-armed godmet. Yeah, he's real. He's real sure that he wants to hang out here.
You are chosen.
Jesus Christ.
As he approaches, I would look to him. Go to the pavilion and ask for any able farmers. Let them know that we have seed here.
So the pavilion's been crushed. There's no one. Everyone was killed inside.
Where are the people now?
Do you know, boy? Do you know where the farmers are?
Yes, there's still a few that are left. And
call them here.
If I can't find them, you're not going to kill me, are you?
No, we're not going to do anything like that. Let them know that we found seed that we can start planting. Go, and he kind of like pushes him like hurry the fuck up, like, go.
The bugbear looks to you.
Ulhime?
There's a reason that I hide, Guess. She does not do well in cities either.
Well, of course not. It's a big ass fucking snake.
Where,
no offense.
Be kind.
No offense, Balthar, but
Just because she is large does not mean that she is not fragile.
he kind of like nudges Jacob. You're being rude to our guest again.
she's made out of steel.
She has feelings. Do not insult Kiss.
No offense. No.
Generally, anyone who leads with no offense is going to say something offensive. Bite your tongue.
My apologies. And at this point, he will turn towards the snake and offer, a bow. I humbly thank you for bringing this gift. Your aid will be of great assistance.
We'll be staying east of the East Gate. If there are any terrors, creatures, or brigands, they will not make it past us. You may find there are new trees in the eastern forest, and quite a few skeletons to join them.
Perfectly. Wait. New trees.
Yes.
Are the wardens able to precipitate growth?
Not all of them, but some.
And at this point, he'll kind of look to Ulhime and then thump him on the shoulder. He can help seed take root. He might be able to help seed grow fast.
Ulhime will look over to Balthar. Is this true? I don't mean to be presumptuous, but do you have that capability, at least for the time while you're here?
No, the grove is not ready. We have taken shelter inside of the newly formed citadel, but we have staying with us a druid's grove. They were seeking shelter, and they found us. They are teaching us many things, but no, in order for me to propagate your forest, you will need many for me to fire upon. It costs the lives of the living.
Okay, good to know.
He kind of
probably avoid that.
He thumbs the cable of his bow.
Noted, but that won't be necessary. But once again, thank you for the offerings that you bring. We are indebted to you. And he gives him a bow.
He nods, and he turns. There's a small hiss, almost like an exhale, and that's when you actually see the earth beneath Kiss actually begin to turn. As she's by and large, she starts to terraform the area. your primary like walkway itself just starts to like deepen down. It creates a mild trench before finally she turns the entire body, and she exits the building. Well, I guess in this case it would be like a cage for her, but all of the town.
Yeah. Damn. Seeing that, Ulhime, pretty excited with what we got. He heads inside and he's going to prepare the hero's feast for the people. And if there's 5 people an additional 5 people, he's going to do cure disease on, or remove disease. He'll cast that on 5 people, and then a hero's feast on top of that.
And that's at the apothecary, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So if there's people in there, then he's gonna slap him in the face and like, oh.
Well, we're changing this back as you're heading back. We're gonna give this right over to Rahk. The camera's gonna move back over to Cort and to Rahk, because eventually Rahk would need to settle down. Likely he would have found a corner to sort of huddle up in and do his thing. And this is where we find that Rahk awakens to some, I don't want to say quite moans, but they're mild cries. You hear these cries emitting from the man at the table. It's just this low whimper at first.
I'll get up and take a closer look.
You notice immediately that as you stand and you adjust your eyes from freshly waking up, that Cort, while he is not lucid, he is not awake, you do notice that his stomach is quite a bit larger. You can see the bindings, the sutures, if you will, whatever had happened to him. It's starting to stretch. The skin is actually beginning to tear. And while he is unconscious, his eyes closed, there's mutterings and tears running down his cheek, these whimpers of pain.
I'm not very proficient in heal. I can roll a check if you want me to, but I imagine this is some sort of infection taking hold at this point.
Well,
I have a check first or inside
give me a heal. Rocket, it just looks bad. That's all you can think of. Is this does not look normal. You notice that there is a significant amount of fluid that has started to run from the stitching itself. The skin is red and very, very warm. You don't even have to touch it. You can just touch near it and feel the heat coming off of his skin.
Is the tearing skin sort of near the sutures themselves, like where the thread would have pierced his flesh is beginning to tear because it's stretching, but the sutures themselves are not?
Likely, yes.
Okay. Then I'll likely try to find some sharp object nearby and try to cut a few of these to at least loosen some of the pressure.
Sure. Well, you will succeed. It's not going to take a lot. You will happen to find an instrument of some sort that befits the description. And as you burst these threads, and they're rather difficult, admittedly. They're rather difficult. But you manage to burst like 3 or 4 of the threads, and fluid starts to freely roll. It rolls down his stomach and begins to immediately saturate the sheets. It is an odd mixture. There is blood. There is some form of pus. And you're not sure what that is. It could be something. You have no idea. You've never done surgery of any kind. But it's disgusting. It's incredibly foul-odored. But you notice as you do this, the whimpering stops. You don't know if you did a good thing or not.
Yeah, for as long as it continues to ooze, I suppose, I'll sort of try to clean up the amount that I can and apply pressure.
Sure.
Not heavy pressure.
Sure.
But
When
light
you
pressure
begin
definitely.
moving around to try to clean up, you will hear some footfall in the other room, and that's when you will find Jenya come through, and her eyes just shoot to her forehead, like literally the lids are just non-existent. What happened?
He was crying out in pain, and I noticed that his skin was beginning to tear near the sutures.
And her eyes sort of train to the table, and then it trains to the floor at your feet. And it's now that you notice as you're trying to kind of push, that it flowed over the table, and there's actually strings of this bile-like substance rolling to the floor. This is bad. This is very bad.
It didn't exactly look good.
Where did it come from?
Best I can tell from inside of him, I don't know where beyond that.
There's a rapping at the door. She turns, and as she moves over to it, she manages to grab a series of rags, linen, anything that's not quite destroyed. And when she opens the door, that's when you'll find that there is Rahk and, Jakob and Ulhime. Jakob and Ulhime, you'll see that Jenya is there. She is highly alert. She's also clutching on to many bits of linen and rags. This is bad. This is very bad. Come inside immediately.
What's going on? What happened?
Come inside, shut the door. And she immediately turns to the back room.
We'll follow.
Yeah. I'm assuming that they're in the same room that Cort is.
Yes. When you move to the rear room, you are both immediately struck. Well, particularly Jakob. Because, well, Ulhime, unless you force yourself to, you don't need to breathe anymore. But Jakob, you're hit. It's a wave of odor. It's disgusting. It's very pungent, and it hangs luridly in the air. I need a fortitude save. It's not going to be hard, but I need a fortitude save. Okay, it's enough to sort of stoke down the pangs of nausea, but nausea is hitting you. And if you were a lesser man, you would have likely started heaving. But in this case...
Lesser man? Ha! I am no man!
I am boy man. It's okay.
I am but a child on your world.
But when you two move in, you see immediately that she starts treating some of this loose fluid that's sort of rolled off of the table, and she started mopping it up.
Incidentally, I'm actually going to look at this pile on the floor, only because of past experience. I want to see if there's any trails leading from it. Because immediately I'm thinking of the worm that walks.
Oh, no. You find nothing like that.
Okay. So after just giving up cursory perusal and being like, okay, no worms, he's going to actually step around and set a hand on Cort's forehead.
He's
feeling
baking.
More than likely a fever.
He's baking. Cort is very, very ill. That's like calling it very ill is putting it lightly. You see the skin itself is just barely held together. The stitching is perfect. It is a masterpiece of work. Someone very, very talented did this, but at the same time, his body is rejecting whatever is happening. And Jenya says,
Oh no.
I have to look inside. I have to see what's causing this. There might still be something that was left inside that I did not see. Please.
Yeah.
Please clean your hands.
Jacob's going to look at his scythe.
Clean your hands and as terrible as this sounds, I need you to hold his stomach open.
Ulhime will try to give him a hand with that, if that's possible.
Jenya, with Mage Hand, be of assistance. It wouldn't get in your way, and it would be able to.
Yes, that would be helpful. Yes.
That would probably be the best option. And yeah, giving his hands a quick rub, he's going to actually step behind Jenya to try and get line of sight and everything. And he's actually going to see about casting Mage Hand to open the wound. Just hold it open.
Sure.
And cast light directly inside the wound.
Okay. Give me a concentration check. In order for you to maintain some of these spells, you have to have extreme focus, especially under this duress with your fortitude being wavered. I want to see if you can hold it.
Okay.
I'll be honest, going with Jacob's track record, he's probably the least trustworthy person to hold my stomach open.
Well, it's really, really hard to fuck this up unless he does it intentionally. Accidents are not really much of a thing unless, of course, wild magic is at play, and there's been no wild magic.
Okay, so here's my concentration check.
You gotta do open heart surgery.
Very good.
Flowers grow out instead.
Very, very good. With surgical precision, your focus is sharp, to say the least. You hone in, you squint your eyes just enough to sort of blinder yourself out from the rest of the world, and you focus intensely so. And as you watch...
fuck. Yeah, I forgot about that. It's a good thing they didn't wild magic me.
And as you watch...
that would have fucking sucked if I'd set off a fireball.
Yeah, either fireball or it's that specific one that grows trees in your target spot. And suddenly I become a fucking forest.
And I would
prefer not to.
She begins to look inside the body. And you see some confusion hit her face. And she sort of tilts in to look down. And then looks back in, sort of leaning up under to peer.
Tell me if you need me to move something aside or...
She steps away to a shelf that has only a few books, but some basic stuff. She fetches down what looks to be more or less a beginner's manual to anatomy. And it seemed to have been owned. It's basically a coroner's guidebook. And there are various parts. Pages are decorated with organs and what have you. And then she splits to a page where it basically shows a guy cut in half. It's drawn, and she points, and she starts looking. Huh. That's strange.
What's wrong?
Does the boy got extra parts or something?
No. He's missing parts. It's like something's liquefying him. We haven't tried to feed him, have you? You've tried to giving him a potion or something like this?
No. Why?
I'm afraid that he's not going to live much longer.
Is it an infection? I might be able to remove it if that's the case.
I don't know what it is.
Is there anything foreign in there? He'll kind of look at Ulhime.
She looks back over the book and she's like, yes, there, this, and she points. I think, and she starts to lean down. I think that was a stomach, or what's left of a stomach. But there's markings.
Just to see if there's any way to actually push this infection away from him, I'm gonna use one of the cure diseases to remove the disease from him if he has one.
Sure.
Yeah, and my concern is I'm thinking to myself, oh, it turns out that it's not stuck in the floor.
Just wait.
Just
wait. As you cast your spell, this remove disease, you touch his back, and as she's watching, she says, "Oh, no, stop that. Stop that immediately."
He stops casting.
I don't know what you just did, but you have only accelerated it.
I'm trying to remove the disease from him.
I'm sorry, I haven't had time to pray today. I've not been able to recoup any of my spells. If you'd like to take a look, then by all means, but I have not been able to.
I could try something, though it's probably not going to sit comfortably with you.
Ulhime, what options do you present?
Other than divine healing, I don't know what's wrong with him.
Do you recognize these markings? And she kind of points. I'm afraid to... I haven't been able to clean my hands yet, but...
He leans inside to see what she's pointing at.
Yeah. You begin peering into it, and you can see, yeah, it looks like his organs have started to decompose and liquefy. Little bits at a time. You see that he's got holes in his intestines. He has spots. It looks like his liver is totally gone. His stomach is mostly non-existent. It looks like an esophageal pipe is attached, but there's not anything there that's like hanging on to a bit. But she points it out, and you can see this, that there are multiple strange, I wouldn't say quite like ligatures, as much as it looks like scoring or like char marks.
Would I have any recollection what this would be from?
Give me a memory test.
Well, he wasn't there during the fight.
It doesn't matter. That's what.
Is this intelligence or wisdom?
Wisdom. Really good. You do recognize this. You sort of follow it for a short time, and it's the same thing. It's the same symbol. It's a symbol that's been done so repetitiously over and over again over this particular organ. And it sort of looks, as you follow it, like it's moving to the rest of the esophagus, moving further down into the intestines and anything else that it can get its hands on. Or in this case, its curse. You look back over to Jakob, and it's the same symbol that you saw in some of the writing on his staff. And it just says Unbind. And that's where we end tonight's session.
No.
God damn it. I'm killing Cort. Why am I killing children again?
I told you earlier this session when I was up, I was like, I'm gonna die, and it's probably gonna be Sniper's fault for something. And if it isn't Sniper's fault directly, it's indirectly his fault because you killed me.
Why the fuck do you gotta put it out into the universe, though?
Seems like the situation's beginning to unravel a bit.
Hope you're the next one to get this fucking plague.
That's terrible to wish upon someone.
Not the coronavirus plague, the in-game plague. I have to specify in these dire times.
Well, I hoped everybody enjoyed that. I know it was largely an RP session, but we've actually had some of our allies coming into play and making a difference. You don't know entirely what their purpose is going to be, especially since Balthar himself is going to be playing outside of the city. He's offered his support, but there is something that is clearly more pressing, and they can't have more of the agents of the Citadel to assist you.
Right. But hey, at least he's got an awesome animal companion.
Yeah, you could say that.
He's got Yulgar. Fucking, that's his animal companion.
Honestly,
Dual
man,
Dark.
I'm starting to wonder if Kiss wouldn't be able to go ahead and take out some of these black dragons we keep running across. It is big.
She's a big one. Could you imagine the strike on that thing?
I want to, no.
You would just be pasted.
Considering just how long and how large this creature is, and the fact that it can turn invisible.
Well, I mean, she's entirely invisible because of you guys. I don't say your players, but because of you guys. But that being said, I gotta know, Red, how are you feeling?
I feel like I'm gonna have to start thinking of another character really soon. That's. I'm trying to think of because I said,
motherfucker.
I said
no
it,
faith.
None. Zero. Literally, the bar is on the floor, and yet I have a feeling you guys are gonna go into the basement somehow. Which is shocking because we don't have basements down here. But I don't, like I said earlier in the session, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen if Cort dies. I don't know what I would do next if he does. And if he doesn't die, is he gonna have a kidney or a stomach or a liver? Those are probably pretty vital to survival.
I don't know.
We can grow those back.
That chick from Full Metal Alchemist seemed to do just fine.
You fucking would. God damn it.
Yeah, I'll play a wizard. Oh, God.
Oh, man. Well, I think we're probably going to have some things to talk about, so I'm going to give you guys an opportunity here to fire up some questions, if you have them, for myself or the cast that is here today. Unfortunately, we didn't have any, but any should be here next week, as far as I'm aware. And that's good to go. Is everybody else good for next week?
Yeah. And yeah, Prophet.
No, I gotta be somewhere.
Here. You're terrible.
How do I feel about it? It honestly, Christy, it's not the fact that I'm being roasted 24/7 now. I was always roasted. They have more ammunition.
I'm about to say it's not a change. We can now switch from doorknobs to you being a child.
I mean, for what
doorknobs, mommy issues.
I'm probably not gonna roast you any further than they. I really don't. Like, the doorknob was fun for a while, but
it's just gonna happen occasionally, and when it does, it'll be great.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a zinger in order for me to say it. I'm just not gonna slow down to dad
just
level
get
jokes.
invited to like the mayor's place after like we end up saving the town or some shit for like a party, and they're like, "So who's accompanying you?" I'm like, 3 adults, 1 child.
It's mostly gonna be Ronald.
You guys are gonna go out to a buffet.
Somebody tries handing Jacob a glass of wine, and
everyone's
gonna be like, "He's not, no, he's underage. He's not old for that."
You guys are gonna go out to a buffet
or
and demand 1 booster seat.
Kids,
I'm taller than you.
And apple juice.
I still like the example of Ronald earlier saying that they're gonna get into a fight. He's gonna try to choke me. He's just gonna say, "Get your baby hands off of me." It's gonna be one of those moments where he's gonna get him.
See, the thing is, only he knows about it right now. So when you guys hear this, you're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, because he does have 2 small hands, doesn't he? They are kind of like baby's hands. That makes sense."
Just totally thinking a different correlated problem.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, just to piss him off, I'd be like, "Oh, look, it's Nab Jr." I think he wouldn't cross that line unless like Jacob said something like, "You're like shit," yeah.
The sad part is they all know that Naphtatoran is his father.
So is Jacob now going to get the treatment that Nick's gotten carrying around? You must be this high to talk. Oh no.
Honestly, he is the tallest character in the group right now.
At least you're not physically.
I mean, there is Rahk.
So this is what I have to...
I mean,
Cort might also be taller than you, actually.
See, but this is what I have to do now. Now I have to make a Hero's Feast, and then there's like the Hero's Feast Kids table, which is a 3rd level spell because he's younger. for you and Chops in the corner.
No, dude, that's perfect. He fucking calls it out, and all that's really there is like cereal, dino nugs, and miniature corn nug, like corn dogs.
Same spell effect, but like for some reason only Jacob and Chops can like grab onto it.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh, see, everyone else is too old. It's big, you know. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You might think that you're doing a good joke right now, Ulhime, but I'll have you know I love nuggies.
Who doesn't love nuggies? Good lord. Nuggies are great.
Because he's dead, doesn't taste anything.
Yeah,
Whose
but like
fault
I've
is
said
that?
before, nuggies depend on the sauce.
True.
You're such a baby.
Why have you said that before? Who is debating you on this? I want to know.
He will live and die
Bobby!
by this statement. Because just because he didn't get the okay.
A week or so ago, I went out and got chicken McNuggets.
He got
This
some
is
fucking.
all-
I was
No,
really,
hold on.
Listen,
and
this is good.
I was unreasonably pissed off because when I came home, no sauce. And I'm saying, what savage eats it without a sauce? I had to go ahead and choose, get honey for this.
He dipped his
And Buzz,
nuggets
like-
in honey.
You dipped your
I mean,
nuggets
I've done
in
that before, too.
straight honey.
Honey, bro.
What
you
the
didn't-
fuck?
Wait,
Fucking
did you have-
straight honey.
Did you have like mustard? Because you could have mixed the two. Put some like chili powder in there. It's your own homemade honey mustard
Nope.
sauce.
He had honey nugs.
Just to the answer of your question, though,
Are
I
you
eat plain
are you
nuggets.
fucking 5? What do you?
Plain nuggets are cool. Just
Honey,
eat them.
yeah, honey
Plain
mustard
nuggets
is the
are
best.
fine.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
what kind of sociopath can have chicken nuggets dry?
I had them earlier today.
That's not.
Look here, you fucking child.
Clearly, you might actually be 4
Look.
years old.
Look. Everyone in chat is saying they can. Why? Because they're fucking adults. That's why.
We're adults and we've learned to deal with disappointment.
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said to him. Like, damn.
I dealt with the disappointment. I went ahead and made got some honey. I didn't feel like making honey mustard. I was actually looking for a
See, then that's
Polynesian
on
sauce.
you. First off, see, an adult would have realized that they had a combination of ingredients to make something with, and you chose not to take that route.
Bro,
Why? Because a child.
I'm not bitching about the fact that I had to use honey. I'm bitching about the fact that I had to create a sauce instead of getting my sauce.
Christy, you're so right.
Because
it's so fucking
unlike
true.
everyone else, I can't eat dry chicken nuggets. It just yes, I can physically eat them, but I choose not to because it's fucking mind-boggling. It's like
How is
sitting
it
down.
mind-boggling?
We
Sniper.
have tapped into a well of just
Sniper is the only
free
fucking
energy.
person I know that when he puts food in his mouth, it immediately turns into a sandbox. We need to get you some fucking mouth lube or something, man. KY needs to sponsor your grill because it's just fucking nuggets, man. If you do not produce your own saliva, then you are not excited about your fucking food to begin with.
I don't even hear adult you. What I hear right now is I can't eat my chicken nuggets without my saucy wassy. Yeah. That's what you
He
sound
says
like.
that as he's wearing a fucking Cartoon Network shirt.
Seriously, bro.
Oh my
Jesus
god.
Christ.
Bloatine or Biotine. Yeah, Biotine. I thought it was bloatine at first.
Protein.
I was like, that's like some fucking offshoot
Go go go!
offshoot Ovaltine shit right there. But no, man, like you didn't have literally any other sauce in your fridge? No ranch, no ketchup, no barbecue, no
Blue
nothing?
cheese, bro.
I didn't want ranch. I didn't want mustard. I was looking for something sweet
so
and tangy.
The issue isn't that you didn't have sauce. You chose not to get any, and that's on you. Why? Because a
No, I
child.
think he asked. I think he
Whoa,
asked
Never
for
whoa,
comes.
whoa,
sauce.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. Just to correct, I asked for sauce. I
Yeah.
asked specifically for sweet and sour sauce. I asked them twice, including at the window. Hey, did you
So
remember to
why?
get the sauce?
So why didn't you check before you left?
Because he's that fucking guy who's gonna go home and realize that they shorted him his sauce, so he throws a goddamn fit, bitches to half of a Discord, and then dips his nuggets in honey.
I'm the
Because
other
that's
half
who he
of that.
fucking is.
I had a Taco Bell order that was just straight up the wrong order. And I was like, fuck it.
I mean,
No.
it's all the same shit anyway, so what does it
Yeah,
matter?
Yeah,
For
I'm not-
what it's worth, I'm not that guy to sit there for 2 or 3 minutes in the drive-through
neither am I.
checking every item of food. I had
Fuck
several
that.
items in this bag.
I
And
am
it's
because
not
what-
unusual for a sauce packet to go ahead and end up at the very bottom.
that's why you
And
check.
let's let's be real.
I treat any
for a
fast
better
food
story.
exchange as though if I'm getting like high profile drugs. I count the goods in the bag. I
He
make sure
opens up, he
everything.
counts every
You're the
single
motherfucker
fry.
who would go ahead and
I'm that
open the
guy.
chicken nugget packet and be like, "I count 9."
He's
I
like,
did.
"Whoa, whoa,
I've
whoa!
actually done that once
Nuggets in
before.
here, I paid for 10.
Yeah, I got a 10-piece and there was 6 inside. I was like, yo, like you gave me a 6-piece when I asked for 10.
This is fucking robbery.
And yeah, I checked. And you know what? I got my fucking honey mustard. I actually got 2 extras because they fucked up. So you know what? That's on you for fucking up. All right.
But yeah, my whole bitch was not having the sauce, so having to go ahead and make something up at home.
You didn't make anything, though.
The
You
real
didn't make anything,
argument
bro.
here, I had to go ahead and use an alternative. Is that better?
No,
I mean,
because
not
you chose a
really.
shitty alternative.
Yeah,
like
you
you
used
made
the-
a
What
Whoa,
else?
whoa,
I'm
whoa, whoa,
curious.
whoa, 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 whoa!
look. You didn't
Since
even make
when
a
is honey a shit? Since
Look,
when is
you
honey
didn't
a
even make
shitty
it-
alternative?
you didn't even make a bad choice. You just made the wrong one. Simple as that. You
I-
made the wrong choice.
Personally, I think honey is a shitty alternative for literally any other dipping sauce for chicken nuggets.
If you had told me, oh, I was out of syrup for my pancakes, so I had honey, I would be like, oh, okay, that's different, but fucking whatever. Like,
Here.
do you, boo boo?
I got you right now. You ready
But
for this,
when
sniper?
you
I'm
were
literally
like-
going to save you every argument going forward, especially never dealing with sauce. You get your bag. As soon as you get your bag, go like this. Follow, look at the camera. Look up here. You just go, oh, hey, can I get that sauce?
Yeah, see?
That's what you do. Even if it's in that fucking bag, you wait. That's how you get it right there. Every time.
Watch this. Watch this. Even better. Even if it's in there, watch this. Can I get 2 extra?
Oh, shit. He just cut out a step. What a man. What a legend.
Fucking glowy brain that shit, bro. You walk into fast food, you get fast food, you do fast fucking
The thing of
work.
it is, we're all focusing on the sauce thing when really the argument is the fact that you guys eat your fucking chicken nuggets dry.
So what?
You, sir.
Yeah,
Why don't you
I'm
just
capable
milk?
of producing
Just
saliva?
fucking
I would rather eat them
Listen,
dry than with fucking honey, bro.
do me a favor, okay?
It boggles my mind. Then again,
Sniper.
I'm the motherfucker in this chat that
You were
actually eats pizza with a knife
so
and fork.
salty. You were so fucking
I'm
salty.
the motherfucker who puts syrup on his egg.
You were so salty that
do
we
that
can
too,
eat our
actually.
nuggets dry because we've learned to deal with life. Why don't you just milk yourself and take some of that bitter with the honey and have all the sweet and sour you fucking need? Because that's clearly what the issue is.
Seriously,
You were
bro.
pampered as fuck. You
Literally,
were so
you
fucking
said
pampered.
I bet you had fucking mustard in your refrigerator and just didn't think I could put the two together, mix it with a spoon, get the same ingredients.
I mean,
No,
I
you were like, I saw both of them together, and you're like, I'll choose just the sweetest one by itself. That's what you did. That's what you did. You fucked up. You made a bad choice, and you look stupid on stream.
I
Right?
am well aware as to how to make honey mustard
Then why didn't you? Why didn't tell me why?
because I didn't want honey mustard.
Then what did you
I
want? Why?
spent the entire drive
But he
home.
wanted
What
honey.
sauce?
I didn't spend the entire drive there and back thinking of sweet and sour sauce.
What?
The wonderful,
Bro.
the wonderful taste of sweet and sour
Dude,
sauce. It's
Get a fucking hobby.
Yes.
Want it, bro, dude. Like you could have still did that with like a vinaigrette or a vinegar mixed with the honey. It would have been the same damn thing. And you're just like, no, I'm just gonna put sugar in my mouth with this. Like,
I mean,
that's all I
yet
wanna do.
again, that's what I do.
This is not.
I'm sorry, honey is delicious.
yeah.
Yeah, not with fucking
Listen,
nuggets.
no. I'm gonna say this right now, and I need you to really consider this, Sniper. Just because Red is backing you up right now, he's not the fucking point of authority of a wingman on any decision-making skills, period, ever. End
I'm
all
just
be
saying.
all on a Bible, my
Why
mom's
the
eyes.
fuck would I go ahead and depend on myself as a wingman?
Yeah, I'm just agreeing.
Stand by your
That's pretty
convictions, you
good.
fucking weak coward!
I'd say it's pretty tasty.
I don't need
He just
one.
insulted
I
your
don't need a
bloodline.
younger me to go
It's-
ahead and back
it's-
me up.
It's these
And
poor
two,
decisions.
I'm not and two, I am perfectly fine with my decisions. I know what I was wanting. I
Your
know
decisions
what
that
I
ruined
had
our
available.
game. Got him.
God damn it.
World Star.
You killed Cauldron. It was your fault with your decision.
I think it's been determined, obviously at this point, that Sniper's blood is thin. He will not survive the winter. And we are gonna go to
That's
our
why he has to thicken it with honey.
no shit. Oh man, you have a dipstick for that? You like check your honey levels, like making sure. Bye, guys. We're getting out of here. We'll
He
talk to
just
everyone
does the-
later. Love your faces. Have a good one. Peace. We're out.